Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Mayor Dawn Zimmer, and I am just thrilled to be here, and I want to thank Meeting of the Minds and all of the sponsors for sponsoring me to be here. It's really a true honor. And I also just want to give a huge shout out to Detroit. I mean, I went on the Makerspace tour yesterday. I saw the manufacturing that Shinola is doing right upstairs. I saw that they are giving jobs to the people of Detroit. It's amazing what's happening here. And I congratulate everyone that's really been a part of making that happen. So when I got invited to be here today, I took this as an opportunity to really reach out to the experts. I know all of you in this room and all of you that may be listening, you're the experts, and you are who we want to reach. We've got a lot of things happening in Hoboken. We're very excited about it, and I'm excited to share it with you today. And I also will say that the city of Hoboken is, while we're only about 53,000 people, we're in 1 square mile. So while we're on a small scale, we have the density, one of the highest densities in the country. So we, in a way, can really be an example for other cities and be a place where ideas are tried out and modeled and then possibly implemented in other locations. So just to give you a little bit of background on Hoboken, again, we are right across the river from New York City. This is a Mumford & Sons concert that we had a couple of years ago. You can see the Empire State Building in the background. This is another view of our waterfront at night. We're extremely proud of our waterfront. It is the treasure of our city. Lots of green space. People are always walking and relaxing out on our waterfront. And this is Washington Street. It's really the lifeblood, the heart of our city. We're working to redesign it. We have this is the Arts and Music Festival that we have in the fall and the spring, and we're just so proud that we've received recognition for our walkability, our bikeability, and we've just been nominated as the best downtown in northern New Jersey. So we're very proud of our city. But we've had some real challenges, and I want to talk to you a little bit about Sandy, and I want to say that I do believe, I'm a firm believer that with every crisis, you need to, although I wish it would never happened, but it does happen, and when it does happen, you need to seize it as an opportunity. You need to create change, you need to make change in your community. And so I want to share with you some stories of what has happened to us in Hoboken, to me personally, and how this has made me even more committed to making sure that our city adapts to climate change, that we are as resilient as possible moving forward. We didn't think that through. We were in Hoboken. We were in the dark for almost 14 days. Okay, so I wanted you guys to just get a little bit of experience with this. So I want to just share, I went out, we had about 5,000 volunteers who helped us get through Sandy, and I went out and, and knocked on doors, and I talked to I talked to our seniors, and one of our seniors, she cried in my arms. She cried in my arms and said, "Look at this, they left us completely in the dark, not even an exit sign, not even any lights to get downstairs." And I looked in her apartment and I saw that her apartment was lit with candles, and as I knocked on every single door, we were delivering food, I saw that every single senior had their apartment lit with candles, and there's no fire suppression system. So this is just such a huge risk, and it's had a real tremendous impact on me as I think about our microgrid and different things that we're trying to get done. And I've seen through Irene and Sandy that our most vulnerable residents, they are not going to evacuate. And if we are more prepared, they can stay safely in their homes. And that's part of what I'm trying to do. I talked to seniors during Irene and during Sandy and sat with them and convinced them to go to the shelter and help them to understand that your ventilator, now that the power is out, your ventilator will not work. So we need to get you to the shelter. We need to get you to the hospital to keep you safe. This is a map of what happened in Hoboken. Remember, the waters came in from the south and from the north and literally filled up the back end. The blue is where the floodwaters were. Nearly 80% of our city was flooded for 5 days before we could get all of that water out. Those red dots at the back, those are our substations. We couldn't start the work on them until the water receded. This is what our city streets look like, and that's not just river water. That is combined sewer water. Our North Hudson Sewage Authority was out of commission, so it was toxic. That water was toxic for our city. We were doing rescues in boats. We were doing rescues in front loaders until we could get the National Guard to come and help us. And I remember the debris, after we got the waters out and everyone started cleaning out their homes. It was like a war zone. It truly was like a war zone, and we did our best to clean up our city as quickly as we possibly could. So I understand our city's vulnerabilities. I understand that we are at risk from the storm surge. And I also understand, and I encourage every city to look at the climate assessment report to know what your city's vulnerabilities are. And I'm using that data to convince both the state and the federal government and my community that we need to move as quickly as possible. And this data is helping me to really get the message across that we need to implement the comprehensive plan as quickly as possible. So this data shows that over the last 50 years, heavy rain events in the Northeast have increased by 70%. So we have had about 6 major flood events since Sandy. So again, that combined sewage water on our streets. And this just shows a map again of where the western side of our city is exposed to flash flooding. And so I'm going to talk to you about a comprehensive plan that we have to protect from both the storm surge, the rising sea level, and the flash flooding. We also are vulnerable to the federal government's policies, the way FEMA works, the way the National Flood Insurance works. I was stunned to learn that FEMA will give me funding. If you look in the lower corner there, that is a fire station. They will give me funding to create an island of protection to protect that fire station. And I begged and pleaded and tried to say, well, we have this comprehensive idea. Can't you just give us some money towards our comprehensive plan, and maybe the city can put in money, maybe we can get the developers to put in money to really make this happen? Unfortunately, the answer was no. And the focus is on the individual, raising homes up on pilings. Well, think about it. Can you put a 4-story, 8-story, 14-story building on pilings? You cannot. So our cities are really being cut out of the federal dollars right now. And that's what's happening. And it's really frustrating, but I will say, I'm glad to say that thanks to really a teamwork, and I think that's what's crucial, a teamwork between the private sector, the Rockefeller Foundation, elected officials, the professional expertise, the community support, we are moving towards success in Hoboken. I want to thank former Secretary Donovan. He saw we need to step outside the box and try something different. I'm so hopeful that that paves the way for FEMA to change. But he announced Rebuild by Design competition. And we worked extremely hard to build support for that, and I'm proud to announce that we were able to win it and received, well, it's coming through the state and to Hoboken and Weehawken and Jersey City, but it's $230 million to really work on this comprehensive plan that I'm going to talk about. And New Jersey Transit just announced a grant award for $146 million, and the work that they're doing complements our plan, and we worked with them as well. So how did we achieve this? I mean, I started from the very beginning when Sandy hit, daily briefings every day until the power was back on in Hoboken. So this is in front of City Hall. People were just wanted to know information. Every chance I got with every elected official, Senator Menendez and having Secretary Donovan, people were passing through. I took that as an opportunity to say, here's what we think we want to do. Please help us. And we followed up with letters, and I wrote letters, and our community wrote letters of support. And when they announced that Rebuild by Design competition, we seized that opportunity. We had all those teams in. We took them for a tour. We got them interested in the ideas that we had and building on the ideas that we had. So what is our comprehensive plan? It involves, it's really quite simple. It's a 4-part water management strategy that will enable Hoboken and Weehawken and Northern Jersey City to live with water. So if you think back to the map that I showed you earlier, the water came in from the north and the south, so we need to resist the water coming in from the north and the south. We need to delay the water from going down into our sewer system. We need to store the water, again, to prevent it from going down into the sewer system during those heavy rain events, and then we need to discharge it out. So here's an example of the north end of Hoboken. We own the land, we've done the remediation, we're ready to go to create, it's really park as defense. We're following, and it's actually OMA was the lead company working with us on this. You know, the Netherlands really is a great model. They're doing this right, so it's really creating a park as defense where it's a levee system to protect, but we certainly don't want to block the access to the waterfront. That supports the community and really builds on the quality of life, and it supports the economic vitality and the future growth of our city. So that's the resist strategy. And then we need to delay everything. We need to delay the water as much as possible. So we're designing our streets in that way. We're designing our parks. This is the park in Southwest Hoboken that I'm extremely proud that we're moving forward on. And it's designed with green infrastructure so we can hold back 250,000 gallons of water. We got a grant from the Department of Interior for that. And we're looking at acquiring land in Northwest Hoboken. And again, following our friends in the Netherlands who, you know, have really led the way in multi-purpose solutions. And so we're looking to design it would be a park on top, parking, which is another challenge that we face, and a detention underneath that will hold either stormwater or potentially combined sewage. And we're partnering with North Hudson Sewage Authority and moving this project forward. The plan also includes a green belt all the way around Hoboken along the light rail, so we want to work with New Jersey Transit on this. And then a discharge system. The plan includes a discharge as well. Last night, very proud that the City Council voted on a shared service agreement with North Hudson Sewage Authority. We're partnering them with moving this pump ahead. So there's both federal dollars and you know, the city is putting in money. For me, this is crucial that we move this plan all fronts ahead as quickly as possible. So resiliency, again, it is part of everything that we do. This is a redesign of Washington Street that we're working on that incorporates green infrastructure. We have redevelopment and rehab zones that ring our city. Green infrastructure will absolutely be a part of, is absolutely a part of all of the plans that we're working on. We're adding more trees through Hoboken. Everything helps. It's not the total solution, but it's part of the solution. And we're trying to motivate our community to be a part of the solution. I like some of the ideas that I heard yesterday about, you know, creating a team of professionals, getting the young people in Hoboken even more involved. So I'm going to be trying to do that. In the immediacy, right now we're working, we just moving ahead with getting a loan, and we are going to make City Hall a demonstration project to say, Hoboken, we can disconnect our downspouts. Our stormwater should not be going directly into the sewer system. We're going to disconnect them at City Hall. We're going to create a cistern system. We're going to create rain gardens around it. We're going to use that water and hold back that water. We're doing rain barrel workshops, and we want, again, I want to figure out a way to make it easy and convenient and affordable for everyone in Hoboken to have some kind of a green roof on your building, whether it's just basic or, you know, more technical. We're also, I think, an important part for cities to be resilient is the social resiliency and preparedness, and we've been working hard on that front too. This is our CERT team, Community Emergency Response Team, which I've worked since I got into office to really expand. I saw the value, and this team was incredible in really helping us both through Irene, through Sandy, and through every major event that we face. So they were the backbone of all the volunteers. We had 5,000 volunteers helping us through Sandy, and it was the CERT team that really provided that backbone. And the CERT team did things like, we had doctors and nurses who volunteered to fill prescriptions. We found that seniors were, you know, running out of their medication. They couldn't get down, so volunteers got the medication bottles, brought it, we got it filled, CVS filled it for us, and then we ran it back to the seniors who were stuck up in their buildings. So it's been amazing. We are moving forward with a pilot program because I recognize you know, people are busy, they're not really thinking about how to get prepared. So we're gonna try something different now that we're launching a pilot program where we're saying to those residents who wanna volunteer, City of Hoboken will equip your apartment with specialized lighting that will work for 40 hours when the power goes out, with specialized charging system. And we're really focused on trying to move that ahead, so we can have a stronger connection within the community. And lastly, I know I'm out of time, but I just want to share this wonderful story of how technology and the community can come together to make a difference. We had 2 tractor trailers coming in during Sandy around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. We didn't know how we were going to unload them. Sent it out on Twitter and Facebook, and within 20 to 30 minutes, there were 200 people there to unload and really help our community to be safe through Sandy. So thank you very, very much.
So if somebody's ready to ask the mayor a question, we've got a microphone here, microphone there. And if nobody stands up, I'm going to ask the question.
Uh-oh.
All right, nobody's jumping up. Oh, good. Sir, go over to the mic so everybody can hear you and introduce yourself. You see the microphone over there? Across the way? Darius is a student fellow scholarship. So right over there, Darius, see it? There, microphone there. Introduce yourself to everybody. Just stand in front of it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Darius Lindsay of Communication and Media Arts High School, a part of the Youth Delegate Program. And I wanted to ask, where is the funding from, the funding for the water route coming from? And is this is it a participation from everybody in the city or not just small portions? Because it seemed like you would need everybody to participate because it would really help.
So yeah, the funding is coming. The funding is coming from winning this Rebuild by Design competition. So that's $230 million. That will fund primarily the resist strategy and then creating a master plan for the entire system. And then we're working. We've got an open space trust fund. I'd like to try and create an infrastructure trust fund so that future development dollars can go into that to help then continue to fund the rest of the plan. So we're looking at public-private partnerships. There's a lot of different strategies that we're trying to implement. And yes, as far as the community being involved in this, we worked with the team. We did community meetings. We did briefings. We invited different people in, trying to reach out to everyone to be a part of this process. And that process will continue where we continue to engage the community and being involved in this. And really every project that we do, whether it's designing a park, the Southwest, that was really, the whole community is invited to be a part of that process. And I really believe that at the end of the day, when you include everybody, you end up with the best design and the best possible concept to move the city forward.
Okay, and I have one more question.
Sure.
Were these plans actually suggestions, or were they actually going to be taken into effect, or were they thoughts floating around and what could be done or what will happen?
Well, the city, we had the city, before Sandy, we had concepts of what we thought could work, and we were looking at combining green infrastructure with engineering solutions, but it was the OMA team, the Rebuild by Design team that came in and really built on what we already had as concepts. And so the idea of really resisting at both ends of the city and connecting that in with our neighbors in Weehawken and our neighbors in Jersey City, and the green belt all the way around, and just having a really integrated living with water strategy. That was the professionals who really helped us to see the way to make this happen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll take all the questions in a row. First from Grist Magazine, come, and then we'll hear the question, and then we'll hear the question, then they may be similar.
Okay.
Hi, just a short question. I'm Heather Smith from Grist. I was wondering, is there anything that you would like to do that you could do if you had a governor who is more active on climate change?
Oh.
I mean, active in the sense of like trying to adapt to it.
There's hot water. You're in a pool of hot water here.
Well, actually.
Let's hear the other questions
Okay, all right.
first. So
Let's see if there's any more governor
Chris,
questions.
you may provide a question about her views toward the federal government.
Of course, it's a perfect question. I'm Christopher Zija. I'm with the Michigan Democratic Party through Election Day. Go Democrats. In any case, I'm wondering, you're so experienced and so focused, you just have so much knowledge. It's incredibly impressive. So when are you running for Congress in northern New Jersey?
Or the state, or the Senate. Any other questions? One more, and then you'll package all of these tough ones together.
Very
Thank you.
Going back to the FEMA's island of protection, I was curious if you start to find any ways to leverage that in some way. For example,
So, I'm sorry, leverage?
existing programs of FEMA just wanting to focus on one location, an island of protection. Is that an opportunity for any renewable energy penetration that you might designate a site such as a hospital that gets a microgrid or CHP and start to move towards some sustainability in energy? Is there anything inside FEMA that lets you reinforce for backup energy, backup
Okay.
power?
All right, so three, as far as, the state, Governor Christie and the federal government, I mean, one thing that I am concerned about is we got to, they announced this grant in the end of May, and I'm hopeful that by, the anniversary of Sandy, which is October 29th, that the grant notice is officially noticed, and and we can really get moving and working with the state. So making that happen comes from advocacy, and I'm going to continue advocating. And I hope that Governor Christie, because this is an important project in the state of New Jersey, will also be advocating to the federal government to really get this moving and see that this is an extremely important project. I'm here to stay as mayor. I want to get this done. So that's my focus. I'm really excited. This is an absolutely tremendous opportunity. Hoboken has never in our history gotten this kind of, grant money and potential, to really move our city forward. Flooding has been a problem for, over 100 years. And so this is a tremendous opportunity, and I want to stay to see this through. And that may take me into my, next term. And as far as, making changes at FEMA, I've, served on the Climate Change Task Force, President Obama's Climate Change Task Force, so I am advocating for changes with FEMA, and I think that there are changes that they can make. And again, I think that the Rebuild by Design competition, which they just launched a national competition, can really help to also make those changes. I also do want to say that we are working with the Department of Energy and Sandia National Labs as far as the microgrid. We worked with them to design a microgrid, and now we're going to be trying to figure out how do we put this out to the private sector? How do we get the private sector engaged and involved, and is there a way to potentially get this funded? Because I'll be honest, that's one that, as much as I really want to do it, that's not something that the city can take on. But I think that when you think about, our seniors and our most vulnerable residents in the dark, that microgrid is just crucial, for our cities, and I think that's a direction that we need to move forward with. So again, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Dawn. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
All right.